Good evening and welcome to Suffering in Silence with Pastor Tia here on Love Faith Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. Love Faith family will rise and out of the ashes together. Our topic on this evening is self-reflection. And we have with us our co-host, Pastor Tracy Mariner of Anchored Rock Ministries. Our guest for the evening will be Dr. Carolyn Wilson, founder and creator of Be Magnified, if she can join us. But if not, that's okay. And also, in the time being, Prophetess Nicole Tillman, our other co-host who is with us that time, she will log in a bit and be with us as well. So, Pastor Tracy, I want to take a moment and greet our listeners and viewers on tonight.
Yes. Hello, all. Welcome to Suffering in Silence with Pastor Tia. I'm grateful to be here this evening and discuss with you some things as we talk about self-reflection. Welcome, and hopefully we'll say something that will uplift you and encourage you this evening and cause you to be even more prosperous as your journey, as you find a way out.
Yes. And Pastor Tracy, for anyone who wants to follow, join, or attend Anchored Rock Ministries, can you tell us how we can do that?
Sure, certainly. We meet regularly the second and fourth Sundays at 2 p.m. via Facebook on our Anchor Rock Ministries Facebook. And then we have Bible studies on Wednesdays at 7:30 via our Facebook. And then we send out the Zoom link on Thursdays. And so we submit questions on Mondays, but that's how you can reach us through our Anchor Rock Ministries. And that's ANCHORED Rock Ministries at Facebook.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So, Love Bay, as usual, I want to start with our request, which is if you would like to donate funds to Rise Out of the Ashes Inc. We are always in the process of raising funds for our nonprofit. If you would like to make a tax-deductible donation, you can do so through our GoFundMe campaign. You can go to GoFundMe and look for Rise Out of the Ashes Inc., or you can write a check made payable out to Rise Out of the Ashes Inc., and that can go to P.O. Box 15, Drexel Hill, PA 19026. If you would like to, you can also purchase my book, Suffering in Silence. That is available on Amazon, and we use some proceeds from my book to help us with the nonprofit. We provide transitional resources for those dealing with issues stemming from domestic violence for victims and survivors. And that is through immediate and emergency funding to help with things such as doctors' visits, food and transportation. We help with medication. We've been able to transport a couple of women into some safe locations, paying their first and last month's rent to get them into a safe space. We've been able to help with getting individuals from one place to another with traveling, train tickets, cars, being able to get there. So if you would like to help us to continue to do what we do, please donate if you can. We've also actually helped a couple of ladies continue in their education, help pay for some college courses. So we're trying to do our part. We just need continued help to be able to do that. I want to share Substance Abuse Mental Health Services, their national helpline. Their number is 800-662-4357. We have Befrienders Volunteer Action to Prevent Suicide. To find a helpline by your country, you can visit their website, which is befrienders.org. And then we have the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Their website is thehotline.org. Their number is 800-799-7233. In Canada, we have the Canadian Women's Foundation. Their website is canadianwomen.org. Their number is 866-293-4483. In the UK, we have the National Domestic Abuse Helpline. Their website is nationaldahelpline.org.uk. Their number is 0808-20-00247. And in the UK, we also have Women's Aid, AID. Their website is womensaid.org.uk. And with that, Left Bay, I want to mention again, wherever you are, wherever you live, You can search for a domestic violence agency that is local to you to get the help that you need. If you search for information that is national, once you connect to that national agency, the national agency should be able to direct you to a local agency that's closer to where you live. So with that, want to go into our topic on tonight, which is self-reflection. And Pastor Tracy, the very first thing that I wanted to do, that I thought of, I wanted to start by stating what self-reflection is not. Self-reflection is not harshly criticizing yourself. It's not tearing yourself down, thinking you're doing something good. It's not being mean to yourself. Self-reflection is not pointing out all your wrongs and your past failures. It's not comparing yourself physically to somebody else, which will make you feel less than. It's not telling yourself what you want to hear.
Right.
It's not lying to yourself in an effort to avoid the truth. I see, Pastor Tracy, too many people doing mental and emotional harm to themselves under the guise of self-reflection. And so I wanted to start with that. What self-reflection is not. I want to share a quote that I came across in an article, and I'll share a little bit more of that article later. But Pastor Tracy, I want to share this quote, and then I want to go to you and start with you on your thoughts on self-reflection. And this is from Angelina Francis, LMHC. She's the executive director for AM/FM Healthcare. And Angelina says, self-reflection involves being present with yourself and intentionally focusing your attention inward to examine your thoughts, feelings, actions, and motivations. And I thought that was beautiful. I thought that was spot on. It sounds easier than it is, but I thought that was a great definition of what self-reflection is. So, Pastor Tracy, what are your thoughts on that?
I want to commend you by starting the conversation with saying what it's not. And I think that was very, very important, because so often we are preconditioned to think self-reflection is tearing oneself down. And giving oneself the permission to not extend grace to oneself. I think so often in most situations, especially with domestic violence, and as I spoke last week about it starting with the mental and tearing you down and mental, we extend a lot of grace to other people, right? But when it comes to ourselves, we are our harshest critics. We are our harshest punishers of ourselves. And I think that for you to express that is very important for us to remember what self-reflection is not. It is not tearing one's down. It's not being delusional about areas that we don't want to talk about, so that's where the lying to ourselves comes in sometime. But going to the quote, I think that summed up self-reflection in a mighty way, because it is important for us to take these moments and do this. Hi, Prophetess Nicole.
Hi. Thank you for tonight.
Hello.
Oh, wow. This is about to be amazing. But just being thoughtful about what I need in order to become stronger, what I need in approaching self-reflection as what I need in order to set boundaries, what I need in order to identify areas of growth that I need to do. So I think it's very important, and it was very spot on to say what it wasn't, and then to say that quote, because it is giving oneself permission to care for yourself. Self-reflection. It's not about tearing down. It's for you to care for yourself and to do the things necessary so that you're in a good mental state. that you're in a good psychological state, because I think it starts with the frontal cortex. So that's the first part that we and I'm not a doctor, but that's where it starts. Like, it's those little things that go
somewhere up in there.
right, then penetrate back here, that goes throughout our body, right? And it goes through our nervous system. And then there's where anxiety and all the other things break down, where we're not able to walk. I think I shared last week that when I experienced abuse and harassment and bullying at work, it wasn't well talked about. And then a gentleman that left corporate America, he wrote a book, and when he left, he had to be off of work for disability for a whole year, because it started here and it went through his whole body, and his central nervous system was so off, he had to get rehabilitated. So that's how we don't realize the power of words and how it affects our psyche, and then it affects our body. And that's why I really believe that the word says that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb, and the word of our testimony is speaking those things out and renewing our minds so that we can have a healthy system and a healthy approach of self-reflection.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So prophetess, we started with describing what self-reflection is not. It's not criticizing yourself, basically doing mental and emotional harm to yourself under the guise of self-reflection. Is not comparing yourself to anybody. It's not lying to yourself because you want to avoid the truth. We shared the quote. I'll share the quote again. This is from Angelina Francis. And Angelina says, self-reflection involves being present with yourself and intentionally focusing your attention inward to examine your thoughts, feelings, actions, and motivations. And so I want to throw this out here. I'm going to let this land in your court and you can take it. One more thing, that self-reflection is not this thing that you try to over spiritualize and we speaking in tongues and everything that comes out your mouth is a scripture. That's not reflection. It's like, it's like so heavenly minded that earthly good. That's not self-reflection. So right. Prophetess.
Well, I would definitely agree with that, because we have to get to the core of understanding who we are. And so it's not going to be the tongue talking when it's not English, and what so many others, because what we do is we internalize the words of what people have said to us or speak over us. Yeah. So if we're doing self-reflection, we have to cast those things off so we can get to the core essence of who we are. Now, because we're believers, we base that on Christ and what he's done for us and through us. But that's the clean slate, but that doesn't negate who he created us to be, and getting down to the essence of who we are, without all those outside factors. So I'm not, like you said, I love that it talked about comparison. Well, I'm not comparing to this person or that person, or even my own life experiences, because what I call normal might not be what you saw as normal or anybody else. So where do we lay the foundation of that? So making sure that we're not being clouded by religious jargon or church speak and things like that in the negative sense, but still being open enough to receive what really is coming from the Lord.
Yes.
And distinguishing the difference. So so those are my thoughts.
I love that. I love how you said that. Pastor, you wanna?
Yeah, I wanted to add on to that, because I think you said something very key in that, Prophetess Nicole, was that it's church jargon. Because if you actually to the scripture talks very plainly about, if you think about David and his experience, like he was going through so many things. Like one day he was up, one day he was down. One day he was like, Lord, why would you slay me? Like, why would you allow this horribleness to come on me? And I said, and I think that that's so important in you expressing that we need to stop with the church jargons and get back to the simplicity of the word that really calls out the things that we're experiencing and how we
Mhm.
can overcome it. And it's not super spiritualized. It is simple
Right.
things of speaking differently to yourself. It is
Mhm.
it is finding spaces where you can be encouraged to do that and healthy
Mhm.
places to do that in. So I think that's very important to realize it's not God and it's not the spirit of God. It is actually the doctrination of what we believe has caused us to think that self-reflection is this, that, and a third, and we got to hakamashando and all those things. What actually the Bible teaches
Mhm.
us we have to just be honest about where we're at. And I think that
Right.
that's important.
Mhm.
That is
And that
awesome.
includes the well-roundedness of emotion, right? So that is anger, that is frustration, that is disappointment, that is pain, that is hurt. Like all of those things are encompassed, not just the fluffy
And
emotions or the gushy emotions, but it's all of it. It's the totality of all of it.
Yes.
So
I'm sorry, Pastor Tia, but she
No,
got
I'm
you on that because when you say anger, it showed even in the word where Jesus himself was angry. Jesus himself
mhm.
had anguish, and we try to push away past that. I'm like, no, I'm too stressed. I'm too blessed to be stressed. No, sometimes I'm stressed, and the
Right.
anxiety comes on me, and
Mhm.
I am just feeling the feelings that I'm feeling in this moment, and I'm
Right.
okay with that. And I thank God that he said Jesus was angry, and he flipped tables and he cracked whips because he was mad, and he was
Right.
scared or anxious in the garden that he did something that wasn't humanly possible, which was sweat blood, because he was anxious about what he was facing and the fear of
Mhm.
facing. So that's
Yeah.
important to remember.
awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. You just summed that up so beautifully. Thank you. So I want to share a little bit of an article, which is where the quote came from. I want to share a little bit of this article, and then I want to ask you both this question: how do you self-reflect? Because we say it, we say boundaries all the time. You need to set your boundaries, but how
Mhm.
do you do it? So in your own words, I want to share these points and then ask the question of you. But this article was written by Sanjanya Gupta. This is from January 30th this year, 2026.
Mhm.
The title is How Self-Reflection Can Improve Your Mental Health. And you can find it at verywellmind.com.
Mhm.
And so Sanjana, I'm so sorry. She says that self-reflection helps you understand who you are and what you believe in. It is important for personal growth and improving yourself. And self-reflection can boost self-awareness. And I thought those
Mhm.
were just beautiful, simplified points, not over the
Mhm.
top, but this is what it is. This is what it can do for you, and this is why it's necessary. So I
Mhm.
wanted to share that piece. But now I do want to ask, and Prophetess, I'll ask you first.
Okay.
How do you self-reflect?
I check in with myself. I check in often. Sometimes it's in the moment of a situation. And other times it's usually like the beginning and the end of the day. So as the morning is starting, I have my time with the Lord, but also while in that time, I'm talking to him about me too. So I think sometimes even when we think about prayer, we forget that it should include us too.
Mhm.
And not
Mhm.
just be always about everybody else, but just the practical of it. Nicole, how are you doing? Like, how are you really feeling? Like sometimes, even if I feel like overly excited about something or I'm yelling, and I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Is this even the proper response?
Yeah.
Why are you responding this way? What factors are contributing to why I'm feeling this way? Um, are these my own thoughts?
Mhm.
Are these thoughts from the enemy? Or are these thoughts from the Lord? Like checking in with that constantly, like those mental checks throughout the day. Um, and then sometimes it's just, going back over a conversation. I'm sure we all do that.
Yeah,
in
we
some way, shape, or form. But, let me just review, like, why did I say that what I said? What did they really say in that moment? Was my response proper? Did I receive what they were actually saying, or was I just waiting for them to stop talking so that I could jump in?
Yeah.
Was I listening to understand? Like things like that. And then actively learning to be kind to myself.
Mhm.
Within the reflection, just, speaking nicer to Nicole, learning to appreciate who Nicole is, loving Nicole the proper way. Those are the ways that I tend to check in and check on that, like keep that in check daily. So it's not always at the full forefront of my mind, but it's part of my mind process while I'm going throughout the day.
Mhm.
Thank you. And Pastor Tracy, how do you self-reflect or and not just how you would self-reflect personally, but to instruct someone else? Like how would you advise someone to go through the process of self-reflection?
Well, I think Prophetess Nicole gave some good points, but I would first advise to sit down and then find a quiet space and begin to think about your life or think about a situation. And as you're sitting there thinking, when thoughts start coming up, write some of those thoughts down. Like that's something that I do. Like something that I do was write it down. Okay, I'm feeling and asking yourself, what am I feeling in this moment? Because sometimes you can't go. Uh, so to backtrack, if you can't go back to thinking over your life, let's just think about the moment, because sometimes that can be a little bit overwhelming. Let's think about in this moment right now, what am I feeling, and begin to write those things out. And then as you go through that, take the first feeling, take that very first feeling and say, okay, I'm feeling anxious. Why am I feeling anxious? Why am I feeling this feeling of anxious? And start to process that. And then as you reflect on that, whatever comes up even more out of that, then you also can write those things down as well. I think another thing is affirmations, finding words and different things for different feelings and emotions. So if I'm dealing with the anxiety, let me find affirmations or things that speak positive back to myself to help ease my stress level. So finding resources such as those things to speak back to myself. And I think also too, an important thing is finding a safe space. We talked about that last week. Sometimes self-reflection is sitting with someone else and saying, I learned this about myself today. And I did this week with Nicole. After last week's radio talk, I was doing some self-reflection, and I found myself, we both got a little excited last week, Pastor Tina. And I was wondering, why did I get so angry at a certain point? And I had to reflect on that. I had to sit down and write out those emotions. And I was like, hey, this is why I felt that way. And this is what I need to do about it. So then I realized I need to talk to my counselor about that and kind of walk through some of the things that I was feeling. So also finding a good community where you can talk about those things. So I talked to Nicole about it. And then I said, what, I realized this is why I'm here. This is why I'm feeling this. As I sat and I reflected on everything, and then I need to go and find a therapist. And I think it's become better, but in our community as Black women, we haven't always sought out counseling or therapy to help us walk through the process of being able to be kind to ourselves, to be able not lie to ourselves, to be able to not shame ourselves and be condemning to ourselves, because we don't even know how to, when I began therapy some years ago, is breaking the old record. We don't even know how to begin to do that. So we need someone to help us in that journey. So being okay with self-reflection, I might need to walk first this process and finding out with a person who is licensed in this to learn how carefully, because you talked about this earlier, Pastor Tia, that we do psychological and emotional harm to ourselves and mental harm to ourselves. Sometimes when we do self.
Oh
Oh,
no.
well, Okay, so Pat. Oh,
Oh.
Lost connection there. Sorry. So to avoid that, we want to go ahead and find the resources that the way that God has, just like God has made, people that say, when I'm sick, well, God's going to heal me. But he gave us the doctors to do that. He gave us
yes.
the psychologists and therapists and counselors
Mhm.
that go and learn the techniques of the brain to help
Right.
us and the
Yes.
emotions to help us walk through that and being okay to say that this is God too. This
Mhm.
is not, I'm not less than because I go to a therapist or I go to a counselor, or I may have a season where I'm on anxiety medicine, or I may have a season where
Mhm.
I'm on depression medicine. It's okay. But I may just need to start out with a person who has the tools that I am not able to do
Right.
self-reflection, you know.
Mhm.
So I think that
That
that's
is amazing.
That's
That was
good.
awesome. Thank you so much. Everything that you ladies have shared has just been beautiful. Asking yourself questions. I heard a journaling in
yes.
there, writing it
Mhm.
down, and checking in with yourself, like really lovingly,
Yes.
nicely checking in with yourself and talking to
Yes.
you. I don't know. This is probably like a whole different conversation, another program, but I don't know where it came from that we just,
Mhm.
in most cases, are just automatically mean to ourselves, like
Mhm.
not giving ourselves the grace that we give to others.
Mhm.
I don't know where um, that came from, but I love everything that you ladies just said. But
Well, I
I
think
want
that
to,
real
yes,
quick, where that came from is in our culture, we were taught tough love.
Mhm.
And there's
Right.
nothing in the
right,
Bible that says that love is tough. It doesn't say that. And so we were taught a harsh way of love. And so, of course, that's what we were taught in our culture. So then we do that to ourselves. So I
Mhm.
think
tough
that's,
love. I had a flashback.
yeah, I did too. When you said that, I'm like, tough love. That's what, like, and
Yeah,
I don't,
Mhm.
and when we were complimented, I don't want to gas your head up or make your head big.
Right.
And so
yeah,
that's that same critical voice that we have
Mhm.
inside of us that is telling ourselves
Mhm.
we're not good enough because
Right.
you think we don't want you to think you're better than who you are
yeah.
because of tough love. And that's not a thing.
Right.
Love is not tough.
Yeah, it's not. And you
Yeah.
have to learn to
Sorry, I didn't
accept
mean to
that
take the
maybe
conversation somewhere else, but
okay. But even on that note, like sometimes we have to accept that yes, I am better. Like
Yeah.
oh, that's a good point.
I am better than at this thing, at this whatever it is.
God has
Because we
great.
we we also as especially as Black women dumb ourselves down
Yeah.
and don't give ourselves enough credit. We don't celebrate ourselves enough for
Mhm.
our wins. Oh, it's just a little small thing. No, that's huge. You just graduated. Like,
I'm about
right.
to graduate.
Yeah, exactly. You
Yeah.
just got that promotion, sis. You just did this.
Yeah.
Like there's so many things that culturally, because of our sex, our race, all of these things, like we've internalized so much of different pieces of culture that keep us bound and unable to move forward. So this is why this topic is so important that we embrace self-reflection so that we can weed out what's truth from
Wow.
the lie.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. That is beautiful. Being competent and confident is not arrogant.
Correct.
Woo! Say
I
That's
that
good.
again.
yeah,
Say
I
that
think
again. Say that again.
Yes,
competent and confident. That's not arrogant.
I
That's
love
that's
that.
right.
I need to trademark that.
Yes, you do. Yes, you
Absolutely.
do.
So, ladies, I want to share another thought that I had, and absolutely want to get your feedback. But I don't believe that you can self-reflect while you're dealing with a major event, whether it's positive or negative. I don't think you can self-reflect while you're in it. I think the event might be the catalyst where self-reflection starts.
Mhm.
And this is me. I my belief. I don't think you can self-reflect in the midst of it, because if it's something great that happened and you're all excited and you're bubbly and you're wonderful, feeling wonderful, So are you going to overlook the relationship with this person talking to you any kind of way because you feel real happy about this event right now?
Mm.
Or did something happen and it did hurt you, but you want to lump your whole life into this one event because you're upset or angry or sad right now, throw everything away, or cast a shadow over everything because of this moment. So, and again, that's my personal thought. I think you have to get through the event first before you. Does that you get me? Like,
Yeah.
I
It
think
makes sense.
really first before you start analyzing yourself or what's around you. I think it has to come to an end. Now, I'm not saying you just throw caution to the wind and you don't make right decisions and you don't think about what you're doing.
Mhm.
But self-reflection, as I'm thinking of it, is when you are able to take some time and sit down and really go through your thoughts, really go through your actions, and ask yourself those questions that you need to ask. But I think in a moment you can feel happy about something and then you forget about what's really happening, or you can be
Mhm.
hurt or angry about something and then you can overlook the entire truth, of your life. That no, this one thing right here happened, but babe, you're not destroyed, you're not over, you're not. And I know you might feel like that right now, but that's not the end all be all.
Mhm.
So what are your thoughts?
You can jump in,
I
Tracy.
would say, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said, go ahead.
Okay, because I'm gonna forget. Nicole, I'm gonna forget. Um, well, I think that's absolutely true. I didn't think about that until you made that statement, but it is so true because I think sometimes some of the emotional abuse that we cause ourselves is because we're trying to self-reflect in the moment.
Mm.
And I'm just thinking of an example, like especially if let's say you had like a, a really rough week and you have this really rough boss, and and in the moment you're trying to prepare for let's say in our cases we all speak and teach or what have you, and you're trying to prepare but they said something so damaging to your psyche, so you know what, let's say you're just ugly, you're just ugly about the way that you approach things, you don't know how to speak. Well, I'll just say one of my things, like I was told you're a terrible communicator.
Mm.
So if I'm about to teach and I'm about to preach
Mhm.
and I'm in the midst of this battle of pain, right?
Right.
Mhm.
How can I sit down and self-reflect when all I hear is you don't know how to communicate, you don't know how to do this,
Mhm.
you are this, you're that. So I think that that's 100% correct. That even if it's a celebratory thing, like I got nominated for this. I won this award, and my boss just said, "I congratulations, I guess." But I'm happy in the moment, like, "Yay, I just did this thing and I got this award."
Mhm.
But I didn't realize I have no support. He was dismissive about this thing, but in that moment, I'm celebrating myself, but I'm allowing those around me not to respect what I just earned and celebrate with me. I'm
Mhm.
okay with that because yeah, so I definitely agree. I hope that made sense, some of what I
Yeah,
said. But I
Yeah.
think I
thank you for
Yeah.
I
this.
think
Yes.
I had to think about that. I've never thought about that, but
Mhm.
in every situation when I was actually going through the thing, but be it good or bad, I missed some things, and I think that leads to the mental breakdown in us sometimes, because then you were like, man, I overlooked that. And then you get angry. And then it's like, oh, you dummy. Why didn't you're talking to yourself. You
Mhm.
dummy. Why would you not see this? What is wrong with you? And then, so I agree. I agree with that,
Yeah.
Pastor
Thank you,
Tia.
Prophet.
Sorry if I was long-winded.
No, not at all.
No, you're good. You had it. I don't have nothing to add. I think that was the perfect response.
All right, ladies. So I have another thought of what self-reflection is not. Um, and because, and mainly me, this is what I do. I minister to, I serve, and I help victims and survivors of domestic violence. Self-reflection is not intentionally reliving trauma. It's not intentionally reliving violent episodes towards yourself. It's not intentionally just recounting and, forcing yourself to go over the scenarios of, what happened, how it happened, why this happened, why did I react this way, or why didn't, I do things differently. That's not self-reflection. Getting help, being honest that I'm in an abusive relationship, be it physical, mental, emotional, be it with a spouse or an intimate partner, or if you're talking about a relationship at work, employee, employer, colleagues, if you're talking about any other dynamic of the family, anywhere in the community, if you're dealing with domestic violence, getting help, being honest and saying, this is happening, I want to get out of this, and you're reaching out to agencies or to counselors or to a friend, you open up, that's getting help. That's that's support. That's not self-reflection. That's taking action in a moment to help yourself. I don't believe self-reflection can come until I believe you got to get through, you have to get further into the healing process. I think self-reflection is a part of the healing process. And so I think there are some counseling sessions that need to happen, because counseling and prayer, therapy all go together. Medication, it all goes together.
Yes.
But it's not because I hear people sit down and just recount the event. This is what he did. This is what she did. This is how I reacted. This is what I should have done, or I wish I would have done it. That's not self-reflection. That's yourself. That's mentally and emotionally torturing yourself. No good is going to come from that. I think it's one thing to go through a situation in hindsight. Everybody has sight of 2020 when it's over. But if you sit, and you if you're really processing something, okay. But again, being unkind to yourself, torturing yourself, making yourself feel less than, replaying the words of the person who hurt you over and that's not self-reflection.
Right.
That was another thought that I had. I wanted to throw out there. But ladies, any more thoughts or a different direction or a spin on self-reflection that you have?
I mean, I don't know. I think that was really a very, very, very important point, what you just said, Pastor Tia. And I think it goes back to the quote, the original quote that you shared, or the process where it talked about with self-reflection, you're also thinking about the next steps. So you're not just staying polarized in the situation itself and just keep, like you said, continuing to replay it, but you're also, what are the next steps? And I think that you can't get to those next steps until you're in the healing process with the therapy, with the prayer, with.
Yeah. Self-reflection is not the healing process itself.
Right.
I think self-reflection is a part of the healing process.
Right.
And I believe, Pastor Tracy, I think you made the point earlier that part of self-reflection can be in a support group. There are times Nicole has been my support. I don't even count no more. But
right.
There was times I reached out and I said, because I can be open, I can be honest. I can say, hey, this is where I am. This is what I'm thinking about myself right now in this specific situation, and I'm, just running through my thoughts. I believe wholeheartedly there's a part of self-reflection that you can do in the atmosphere of loving, helpful group support. I do believe that there's a point of self-reflection where it's not a team exercise.
Right.
I think because for me, even before I get to the point of, all right, I'm going to reach out to Nicole or Pastor Tracy or my support group, and I'm saying, hey, this is the issue. I want to work through this. I have to do some work myself by myself before I get to that point of, all right, I'm going to share this with this group. They love me. I know I'm going to get some honest answers. I know, you know, it's not going to be fluff. I know that. But before I go to them, I have to be real. I got to look myself in the mirror, because you know, if I go to Nicole and I said 2 + 2 is 5, she what? She ain't gonna go along with that just because I said it.
Facts.
All right, look. All right, I know 2 + 2 is 4, but 3 + 1 is 4 too. This is where I am. I'm trying to get some different stuff in here. Or, you know, do I have to actually divide? You know, 4 divided by 2. Like, I'm just I'm real about how I'm trying to get to where I'm going. But yeah, I wanted to say that there is a part, and I think the most important part of self-reflection is just you.
Yeah.
It's you. Look yourself in the mirror. And I would say too, if you can't look yourself in the mirror, and I mean physically, I mean pick up the mirror and look at yourself. Look into your eyes. Look at your face. Look at your nose, your mouth, your ears. If you can't look at yourself in the mirror, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Something's wrong with that. So I think you got to start there.
And I would 100% agree with that. Some of the young people that, and especially women that I have been able to mentor, that's something I would say, like when they're dealing with, and they share certain things like, well, you have to get alone with yourself. You have to be able to look in a mirror. And I said, there was a song that I used to listen to, and it was not a Christian song. It was one of my favorite artists, India Ari. She said, I'm having a private party. It's just me, my angel, and my guitar. And, you know, I have to be able to look at myself in the mirror. And she talks about, my mama didn't understand. I couldn't talk to my friends. They weren't available, but I was able to go and reflect with myself in a mirror and love every inch of part of me. And another song that I tell them to listen to, because, you know, they're younger than I am. And I'm like, Prophetess India Ari again. I am not my hair. I am not my skin. I am not your expectations. Yeah. And so it's taking these things and saying, what am I? What am I? If I don't think that I have to have my hair straight, or I have to be this way and that, then what am I? So, and that is self-reflection. And she said one other thing: I'm not your average girl from the video. You know, my worth is not determined by the price of my clothes. You know, all I can be is me. But how do you get there? Is looking in that mirror, being naked and not ashamed, like starting to love every inch of yourself. So I totally agree with that, Pastor Tia. Like a large portion of self-reflection has to come when you're, I would say, 3/4 through the healing process, because sometimes even too soon, you'll start critiquing, the negative voice will come back, and it'll start critiquing yourself while you're naked and not ashamed in the mirror, and you'll find every inch of you that is something wrong. Those voices. So I agree that it's being in the process of healing, where you can do true self-reflection, and being able to be by yourself and talk to yourself, and then coming to your community and saying, whether that community is your friends that are safe. And I want to say too, Pastor Tia, something you said, self-reflection is not having yes people around that's always going to say the things you say, because that doesn't require growth. Self-reflection, growth. Self-reflection is being able to be okay with some of the decisions, choices that I make that weren't so flattering, but knowing that I'm no longer that person. Self-reflection is healing, saying that, yes, I may have gone through this, I may have experienced this, but that's not my identity. That's not who I am. And so that leads back to the point of having to be part of that healing process. So it's a journey. It's a beautiful journey. And I want to encourage us to look at it as a beautiful journey of self-discovery, both the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. But that's what makes me beautiful because if he says there's a field of lilies, right, and each one is different and significant, even though they may look alike, then I'm significant and I'm different, and my differences makes me seen in his sight, makes me seen in this world. And if I can't be me, and if I can't, self-reflection helps me to be me. If I can't be me, then I'm doing this world a disservice. I'm doing myself a service because I was chosen to be here for a purpose, on purpose, and that's everything about me.
Right.
Prophetess.
That was good. That was so good. Y'all are saying all the good words. I'm just like, let me write this down.
Yeah, I'm writing over here.
I love it. I love it all. And especially, I love that you brought up the mirror and looking in the mirror and how that is an indicator. That if you can't even look yourself in the face, it's time to seek out some assistance, some help, some support. And like you said, being able to recognize who the safe spaces are. And that comes with trial and error.
Yes.
Yes.
It can be scary. There may be some who still betray you, unfortunately. But don't stop there.
Right.
And I guess that's my encouragement. Don't stop there. If one person betrays you, even after you've sought out the assistance, keep trying.
Yes.
The right one will come along.
Absolutely. I thank you so much for saying that, because that is just self-reflection is not easy. I mean, the words are rolling off our tongue, but it's not easy. And if you are honest, when you get to the point in your healing journey and you're dealing with self-reflection, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a bed of roses. There are going to be tears that you cry. And if at this very moment you can't look yourself in the mirror, it's okay.
Yeah.
You just do what you need to do to start where you are. It's a little bit at a time. And finding the support that you need, it is a trial and error. Again, Lovely, I have mentioned several times, I'm 49 years old. I will be 50 on May 28th. And let me tell you, the disappointments, and man, the disappointments that I felt, the betrayal, and I'm talking about some recent stuff. This not like I gotta, go back in a memory bank years ago.
Come on now.
I mean, recent stuff.
Right.
Pastor Tracy, you can preach that one. It's but the over my almost 50 years, the ones that I can call friend, ones that are there, all that I went through to be able to shake out the pile, and they're still there, they're standing, it was worth it to get to those.
Yeah.
I know those I can go back to. They got me. So don't stop trying. I mean, sometimes you gotta relax, you gotta breathe, you gotta take a moment and then move forward again. But I'm telling you, the work of self-reflection, doing it on your own, because it starts on your own. Get into that point where you do have your team, your support around you. I'm telling you, the pain that you work through, the tears that you cry will be worth it. And I always say, your pain, your suffering will help somebody else. If that's what you're called to do, because some of us, we experience some things and it's just for us to get through it, to move past it, and then we're okay. Others of us, God has us in a different position. We've gone through some things, and now we have to turn around and pull some others through, because we went through what I went through. So now I'm gonna talk you through the self-reflection thing. I'm gonna help you walk through it. So getting through it, sometimes it's not just about you. It's when you can turn around and you can help other individuals come behind you. And so I think it would be a disservice to try to make it, like this flowery, roses, this beautiful, sweet perfume thing. No.
Right.
You will cry. Yeah. You will feel the betrayal. You will feel and especially if you're dealing with trauma, if you're dealing with that doesn't just go away.
No.
You can't wish that away. And so when you stand in a mirror and you're looking at yourself, if you can barely raise your eyes, it's okay. but don't throw the mirror away.
Right.
Don't break the mirror. You just a little bit at a time. You come back and you keep trying and you build your circle around you. And I'm telling you, the circle of people that I have around me took me years to get to this point. And I know the ones that are there, they're there. So I'm going to see 50 with them. I'm going to see 60 and 70. And you know, these people have to see them on a regular basis. I've said this before. My support, there are people, couple people I might only talk to once or twice a year. Others I see on a more regular basis. But when we come together, it's for a reason. It's for a purpose. I can give what I get. I get what I give. So I want to encourage anyone on tonight, everyone on tonight, when you're going through self-reflection, it's hard. But when we get to the point, you know, when we can laugh, you know, and it's not crying all the time, it's beautiful. And I do want to say, and then ladies, I'll ask you for your final thoughts of tonight. You can get through a point because, again, this is a part of the healing process. You can come to a point in your healing process. You can come to a point where you've successfully have gone through some self-reflection and you can feel great. And then after that, find yourself in tears and hurt and pain again. That does not mean that you've lost success. That doesn't mean that you failed. It means that this is a process, and healing is not a straight line. It's, my goodness, zigzag, circles, back and forth. But you keep moving. You keep moving. So if you get to that point where you feel, you know, my heart is healed, or I've experienced healing, or I've experienced some growth in my self-reflection, and then you find yourself in tears again or reflecting on something else, it's okay. It's part of it. You know, as Pastor Tracy said, it's growth. Self-reflection, we're supposed to grow and mature. We not, you know, just reflecting and watching TV and just supposed to happen. So, ladies, I thank you so much for being here on tonight. But, you know, I would ask you, and Pastor Tracy, I'll ask you to go first to leave Love Bay with your thoughts on self-reflection this evening.
Yeah, well, first I want to just say thank you, Pastor Tia, for this topic. This has been amazing. Thank you for this platform and I bless this platform that you're on. One thing I wanted to say about self-reflection, and we've said it, but it is self-reflection is being patient with yourself.
Yes.
It is being patient with the process. It is being patient with understanding that it is a faith journey. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, of things not seen. I'm having faith in this process that even though I've gone through something traumatic and I'm sitting with myself, I'm reflecting that I'm not going to stay here. I'm not going to be always in a perpetual cycle of trauma. That is not my identity. That is not who I've been called to be. And this is a seasonal thing, and this is seasonal. And so in some seasons I might self-reflect and it may be victorious. In some season it may be sorrow, but knowing that it's a part of our growing and our faith journey, and that faith looks different in different people, and that your journey doesn't have to look like my journey or Pastor Tia's or Prophetess Nicole's. And one last thing is, if self-reflection was easy, everyone would do it. So in that process, pat yourself on the back and congratulate yourself, because you care enough about yourself and about your healing to do this process. So it is not easy, because everyone would do it. It takes patience with yourself, and it takes you loving yourself enough to go through the process.
Yes.
That's
Thank
good.
you so much. So, Prophetess, if you would give us your thoughts, close us for the evening.
That was everything that was shared has been so beautiful, and just such good, rich gems. So thank you both. Thank you for this topic, Pastor Tia. Thank you for everything that you both have contributed. I think that my closing thought is a scripture. It's one of my favorites. It's Romans 10, I believe it's 18. And it is, for I reckon that the suffering of this present time shall not be compared to the glory that shall be revealed in and through us. So that gives me hope, and I hope that it gives others hope, that no matter what you're facing, no matter what you're going through, no matter how crazy tumultuous it is, there is another side, and that there is good that will come once you get to that place of healing, once you're starting that journey of self-reflection, when you're walking through those things, and when you finally get to the fullness of that, being able to share that with other people, and they be able to glean from the gems of what you learned from what you went through in your situation. So there will be glory after. There is an
Awesome.
after. How about we start there, and then there's glory.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here on tonight. Love Bay, if you want to catch up on previous episodes from our program, you can visit our YouTube channel, Suffering in Silence TV. Please also remember to like, share, and subscribe via whichever platform you're watching us by. Thank you so much for joining Suffering in Silence with Pastor Tia here on Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. Love Bay, we're rising out of the ashes